Before the MCU, before Spider-Man's creation, there existed one superhero, Superman. Widely regarded to be the first superhero ever made. And with that comes a long list of movies. So today, we're going to be talking about and ranking every single Superman movie. First things first, with the 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman. And this movie is well regarded by a lot of people. So let's see how well it holds up in today's standards. So this movie obviously starts off with Superman's origin story, which, Krypton blows up, he arrives on Earth, he gets adopted by the Kent family, and you guys know the story. But they make an amazing job of you feeling connected to the characters. And most of all, I have to give it to Christopher Reeves, because he is one of the best Superman actors that we've ever gotten. The way that he transitions from Clark Kent to Superman, and the way he acts as Superman is, I have to say, probably the best that we've ever gotten as Superman so far. And despite this movie being the first, it actually does a great job at introducing Superman and putting us into the world and everything. If you want to get to know Superman, I think this is a great start. There are some things that are bad about the first movie, like how Pa Kent just dies way too soon. And in my opinion, I think that Superman is Superman completely because of Pa Kent, right? Because of Clark Kent's dad. He is how Superman gets his idea of love, idea of everything, of just showing up for people and being a symbol of hope and stuff like that, right? That is solely from Pa Kent, in my opinion. And I feel like he just dies too quick in order for the movie to show that it was from Pa Kent. But he still is the symbol of hope and a friend, which I think is one of the best quotes and one of the best lines in this movie, is when he saves Lois Lane and she asks him,
"Who are you?"
"A friend."
And I think that just encapsulates the Superman character perfectly. Like, just give somebody those 2 seconds of the movie and they will know Superman in and out. Like, it's amazing. And another thing that I didn't really like was near the end of the movie when Lois Lane dies and he goes back in time to save her. I feel like that just takes out all the stakes in the movie, and I didn't really like that scene. But other than that, the movie has got to be like a 10 out of 10. It's so good. And now onto Superman 2 from 1981. So Superman 2 is basically Spider-Man 2, but just 20 years before. So in Superman 2, the conflict with Superman is him giving up his powers in order to love Lois Lane, right? Because his parents say that
if you intend to live your life with a mortal, you must live as a mortal.
Which I don't know, I don't really agree with. I didn't like the story, because unlike in Spider-Man 2, where Peter Parker gives up his power because of like internal conflict, and I haven't watched that movie in a while, sorry if I get anything wrong, but he gives us his power because he can't divide Peter Parker and Spider-Man correctly. So he just decides to give up Spider-Man as a focus on Peter Parker's life, right? And that ends up in a lot of people getting hurt. But in Superman's case, he just gives it up to love somebody else. And I don't like that, because I don't think Superman would give up his powers to love Lois Lane, right? And even if he would, I don't understand why he would have to give it up. It was like his parents that said something, like, why would he not try to like rebel or something? I don't know. It was very weird. It still is a good movie, don't get me wrong. I still liked Superman 2. Not as much as Superman 1, but Superman 2 was still a pretty good story with General Zod as being the villain. I thought he was really compelling. The villains of Superman 2 are just really fun to watch. And just seeing Christopher Reeves again was just so fun. The only thing that I really just didn't like is the conflict where he gives up his powers. Like a part of the movie that I didn't really enjoy. But overall, the movie was pretty good. And now for Superman 3 in 1983. So I'm going to give you guys a little behind the scenes here. So before I actually talk about these movies, I do a little like rewatch recap thing, just so the movie is fresh in my mind. But I can't do it with this movie, bro. Superman 3 has got to be the worst movie I've ever seen. It's so boring. I swear I think I fell asleep like 2 or 3 times trying to watch it, and somehow I still got through it. But what makes this movie so boring is how it's such an emphasis on the villain. And I have no problem with that, but the villain is so boring. I think it was like a bad attempt at trying to bring Brainiac, which I think I searched it up, and I think that's what they were trying to do. I'm not really sure. The smart guy, I don't even know his name, I'm sorry, but the smart guy, he gets kryptonite.
This is a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much, General. It's very nice.
And instead of killing him, he just becomes angry. And I think this is one of the funniest parts of the movie, where Superman becomes angry. He doesn't even start hurting people. He just starts being petty. Like, he goes to the Leaning Tower of Pizza and just makes it upright. Like, why would you do that? Like, but I think one of the best parts is when Superman just takes a shot, because that is one of the like weirdest things that I don't know why it would be like a kids movie. Like, that is one of the weirdest way to show that he has like fallen. Like, it's so weird. And like nothing really comes out of this movie. Like nothing really stood out to me. Just that it was boring. I don't know. I really don't have much else to say, but it's crazy how far it fell from Superman 1 and 2. And now for Superman 4 in 1987.
I just wish you could all see the Earth the way that I see it.
So in my research for these movies, I found out that a lot of people dislike Superman 4, like a lot. And I have to say, I think Superman 3 is far worse than Superman 4. So Warner Brothers tried this new thing of having like a political message in the movie, which was that Christopher Reeve wanted Superman 4 to be a take on like nuclear weapons and the tensions between the US and the Soviet Union at the time, right? And I think the first half of Superman 4 is probably as compelling as Superman 1. It does deal with a lot of the nuclear stuff, and I wish that they would just keep it through the movie. It would be such a good movie if they would just keep the narrative that they were building up for the whole movie, right? All of the countries are kind of like targeting against each other, and they're all building nuclear weapons. So then Superman's like,
Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
and that's precisely what they do. So Superman goes around the world grabbing every single nuclear weapon, and he hurls it into the sun, right? Honestly, pretty good idea. And also Lex Luthor is back, and he wants his revenge on Superman, right, for putting him in prison in the first like 2 movies. Lex Luthor wants to create a clone of Superman that is born from the sun, and I don't know, it's such a weird, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so weird, and I think it would have been so much more compelling if they kept Lex Luthor's motivation to be centered around like nuclear weapons and like keep the theme of the movie, right? But I mean, I think that's it for the Christopher Reeves movies. I mean, and now for the 2006 Superman Returns. So this Superman movie is an alternate dimension Christopher Reeve, where only the first 2 movies happened and the atrocities that were the 3rd and the 4th movie just never happened. And it kind of worked. I don't know. I wish it was just his own thing, because I'm not gonna lie, I liked this movie. I thought it was pretty good. But like having to remember what happened in the first and the second movie, especially after it was like, what, like 25 years after the second movie? I don't know why they wouldn't just reboot it. The thing I liked the most was showing Superman's humanity. The problem that I have with Superman as a superhero is that I just can't see Superman's humanity. I just think it's because he's like a god. I know he's not supposed to be a god, and then everybody's like trying to portray him as not a god, but in my head he still kind of is. He's just this all-powerful like thing that flies and like goes around saving people, and he tries to be human, but he just isn't in my head, you know? And that's something that I struggle with seeing Superman as, you know? But I think this movie does a great job of grounding Superman as trying to be human, you know? I think it really struck me when Superman was jealous of Lois Lane and her new husband, and I don't know what that has to say about me, but that part of the movie really made me feel that Superman was human, you know, that he has these human emotions. This movie, of course, isn't the best, but honestly, it is pretty good. It's a pretty good watch. And now, onto the very heavily debated Man of Steel. Please keep an open mind when you hear me talk about this movie. I know that there are a lot of diehards, but I have to say, in my opinion, okay, this is not a good Superman movie. I think, bro, if Zack Snyder took out Superman, this would be a banger alien movie. Like, Zack Snyder needs to stop with the superhero movies, okay, and hop on that alien movie. Zack Snyder, please, if you're listening to me, bro, make an alien movie. I promise you it'll be the best shit you've ever made. But anyway, the reason why I don't like this movie is, honestly, the movie itself is alright, but the main reason is that it's not a good Superman movie at all. Superman is supposed to be like a symbol of hope, you know, save people, do all this stuff, and he just doesn't do that at all, bro. Like, there is a specific moment in this movie that I remember, right, where there is a building falling, and you would think, oh, you know, he's gonna swoop in, like, stop the building, make sure everybody's safe, but nope, there is not another shot of that building. You're kind of just supposed to infer that that building just fell and a bunch of people died, which is not what Superman does. I don't know. It's so weird. And also, dude, this other thing, man. The first kiss that Superman and Lois Lane exchange is on top of like rubble. It's on top of the city that has been made flat. You know the amount of bodies that they are just making out on top of? And Lois Lane is like,
you know, they say all downhill after the first kiss.
Brother, it's been going downhill for the past hour of the movie, bro. But I digress, okay? All of you die-hard Zack Snyder fans, okay? I understand. You can have your opinion and I can have mine. But the truth is, this is not a good Superman movie, okay? If you think the movie is good, that's on you. But as a Superman movie, this movie is not good at all, okay? And now, the latest Superman movie, the 2025 James Gunn Superman. And I'm sure you guys are already thinking I'm going to glaze the hell out of this movie, okay? But let me get my thoughts across first, okay? So I do not think that this movie is the masterpiece that everybody's saying. I think it's a good movie. I mean, I love James Gunn. I love his movies. But I don't think that this is a masterpiece. I think my only gripe with it is that it's not really a solo Superman movie, right? And I feel like that does hurt the movie a little bit, in my opinion. So one of the biggest complaints that I have about this movie is like the war. And while they are invading the country, Superman is out somewhere else fighting Ultraman. And I thought that would be a really good way to show that Superman sometimes is divided, you know? Sometimes he has two problems that he has to face, but he can't because he's only one person, you know? When they used Hawkgirl and Green Lantern to stop the invasion of the country, rather than having Superman be divided by it, it just takes the whole stakes of the movie away. I think it would be much more compelling, right, if Superman was fighting with Lex Luthor and Ultraman, and he was just trying to race over to the country to stop the invasion, but he was having Ultraman like fight him and be like, no, like I need to get there, I need to stop this invasion. But then Lex Luthor's like, no, like I think it would be such a compelling story if they combined those two conflicts and made him try to like do one of the other, and if people got killed, have that weight be on his shoulders. I think that would be a much more compelling story than just having his friends help him out. Like, the DC universe is gonna be such a good universe, because I think one of the problems that I also have with like Marvel is how, like, let's say like the Thunderbolts, like one of the most recent ones, right? Like, New York is being destroyed by the Void. Like, people are dying, being disappeared left and right. Where the hell is Spider-Man? Where's Punisher? Where's Daredevil? Where are all these people that live in New York, bro? Like, they just what? Oh, they're taking a vacation, you know, while this is happening. Like, no, bro. Like, they should help out. And I think that is what DC is gonna do correctly. I guess now as I'm saying it, it does seem a little hypocritical that I enjoyed DC's universe building when all these characters are connected, but I don't enjoy the Superman story when all these characters are connected. So back when I filmed this video, I actually didn't have an answer to why I felt that way, but I think I figured it out. And it's that while I do agree that having a connected universe makes the world feel more alive, it shouldn't take away from the stakes of the movie. So I kind of understand why Marvel does this, because it's like in DC's case, if Superman was a part of every single story, I mean, it would just end in 2 seconds, right? So having an interconnected world is actually good, but it shouldn't take away from the movie stakes. But as of now, as of my first watch, which I know this video is gonna come out late. I'm sorry, I've been procrastinating this video a lot. But anyway, I think the movie itself is really good, and I'm more excited about the future of DC than how happy I was with this movie. Superman does a better job at building the world of DC rather than building the world of Superman. And one of the best things about this movie is the idea that has come out of this movie. Other people talking about like kindness being the new punk rock and just being hopeful and all that stuff. I think that is the best thing that movie could have made. And that is what Superman is. Being a symbol of hope, saving people, and treating each other well and treating each other nicely. I think that is one of the best things that has come out of this movie. The movie itself, not my favorite, but the outcome was really good. After watching all these movies, I'm finally going to give you my ranking of all of them, and here we go. So I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up, okay? So at the bottom, Superman 3, the worst movie I've ever seen. It's so bad, it's so boring. Villain's not good. Superman's funny, I guess, but it's not that good of a movie. Next one, I have to say Superman 4. The first half is really good. I actually really enjoyed it, but the second half, the villain was just not good, like at all. And next, I'm gonna have to give it to Man of Steel. Like I said, good movie, I guess, but not a good Superman movie at all. After Man of Steel, I think I'm going to give it to Superman 2. Superman 2, not amazing as well, but it still was a good Superman story. I really like General Zod and how they deal with that. I still didn't enjoy the whole giving up Superman thing. I don't agree with that, but it still was a pretty good movie. Next, I'm going to give it to Superman Returns. I know it's a little odd having him in the top 3. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that, having hit that Superman Returns above Man of Steel. I'm going to get so much hate for that. But I have to do it. I think that Superman Returns it's a really good movie. It's one of the things that really opened my eyes about Superman and how he is as a human being and stuff like that. And I mean, I like the actor, I'm not gonna lie. I like some of the fight scenes as well. I liked it. I had a good time watching it. And on second place, I'm gonna have to give it to Superman 2025. And like I said, it did build the universe more than it built the world, but it still was a really good Superman movie. I love the intro with like him being beaten up and stuff. I'm just saying, I'm just trusting James Gunn with this. I think he's gonna do a great job with this. And I think I literally read today that David Cornsweet is gonna have like 4 solo Superman movies. So I'm very excited about that. Maybe Superman 2, but with David Cornsweet is gonna be better than this one, hopefully. But we'll see. I'm just excited for Batman, okay? Please, James Gunn, please give us a good Batman, bro. I trust you, okay? Please, please. And for our number 1 spot, we're gonna give it to Superman 1978. Yes, it's old. Yes, it does look a little bit janky. And yes, it's not perfect, but it has to be the best rendition of Superman we've gotten so far. Like I said, just those 2 seconds of Lois Lane asking him who he is and him saying a friend. That's all we are ever gonna need as Superman. And also just the soundtrack with John Williams. I forgot to mention that, but the soundtrack with John Williams, sometimes it makes the movie. But yeah, I think that's the ranking. I'm pretty happy with the ranking. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for the Man of Steel, maybe even the Superman 2025 version, because I know a lot of people like that. But yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion, okay? Please don't hate on me, all right? This is my first YouTube video as well. Please let me know how I did. I have no idea. And please, if you guys want to put down your rankings or your thoughts about any of the movies, please let me know down below. I will try to get to as many of you guys as possible. I really do want to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.